Thank you for that segue. Joining us now is John Hempstead, manager of Buzz Bingo Club in Peterborough. Thank you for joining us, John. Your bingo hall looks wonderful. What do you think about these old-fashioned bingo calls?
Well, I've been with bingo now for 14 years. And in the 14 years, we've never used the calls. It was actually that something evolved a while ago. So we've evolved from using those calls into a much more faster-paced game now. So it was very confusing for our customers. If you were to say something like two fat ladies, the problem you would have would be the first number the customers would hear would be the number 2. So they would be looking for a 2 in the number on their cards. Then you'd say 88, so they'd be looking for the number 288, which we only have 90 numbers on our boards.
Oh, so that would become confusing.
It was just very simple. Absolutely. The same with, we were saying one little duck. They'll be looking for number 1, and actually the one little duck is number 2. So it became very confusing for customers. So we actually evolved it and took it out. We went down a much more fun route. We didn't want to take the fun out because, of course, everyone loves the old style, as they were talking about the heritage of calling and having fun and community at the club. So what we've done is we've now evolved. We now have music bingo, which I don't know if you've ever heard of, which we basically play rock and roll songs, and you mark the numbers off on your card you might have Queen or Bohemian Rhapsody, and we'll actually sing along for 30 seconds to the songs, and then you mark the bingo card off. So it's completely different.
It sounds like you've dropped the bingo calls for technical reasons, because actually the people coming along to your bingo are much more rapid than perhaps your average bingo hall. But what do you think a person coming along to play bingo would feel? How would they feel about somebody shouting two fat ladies? Do you think they would be offended, the average person attending one of your games?
I can't speak on behalf of the average person. I can speak on behalf of myself and say that it's just not something that we've ever done, so I've not experienced it. But they come here for the community and the social side more than the actual calling of the numbers in the physical way. The entertainment's behind seeing your family and friends. We have a regular people that come in, like your grandmother, your mother, and your daughter will all be in the same place at the same time. Well, it's community spirit.
There you go, Jeff. It sounds like nobody would bother if we actually just dropped it entirely. John, stay with us. I want to take some calls on this. Gillian from Surrey, you're up first. Are you a bingo goer?
No, I must admit I've never been to bingo, but I am a fat lady. I'm a fat lady due to health problems, actually. But recently I went to see my GP, and I thought just hear it and see how politically correct, ridiculous it is. And I said to him, I would like to get rid of some of this weight. I'm such a fat lady now. What? We don't use that word. I said, well, I'm a fat lady now. You knew me when I was 9 stone. And he told me off for calling myself a fat lady.
Well, some would say that
I wasn't calling anybody else a fat lady. I was calling myself. Well, I just left the surgery laughing.
Well, I mean, it's good that you took it in such a good feel and you left laughing. That's nice. But when you look at this, two fat ladies, you can't really see this. It's basically 88. Do you look like a figure 8, Gillian?
Yes, I do.
I'm sure you don't. You've got legs and arms.
And what is new is nothing wrong with that shape. I mean, we talk about the classic hourglass figure. What are we talking about? We're talking about something fairly similar to the number 8.
But nobody looks like a figure 8.
They think,
well, I do.
There's nothing wrong with looking like an 8.
I go in at my waist a
Solid
bit.
8.
I go in at the waist a bit. But if you were to look at me either front or back, you'd say, oh, there goes number 8.
Gillian, you're hard to argue with, Gillian.
Isn't it more a naught? I mean, I actually hadn't thought about it before, Storm, but an 8 is more kind of Marilyn Monroe, but a 0 maybe is more of a kind of, I don't know what you think, John.
Yeah. Is it okay, so maybe it should be
0.
88
80?
To very well-proportioned, wonderful-looking individuals.
But then it would be
I think half of John's customers would have left by the time he finishes the sentence.
And now we're setting unrealistic expectations
that does roll off
for
the
women.
tongue.
Gillian, thank you for your really uplifting call. Robin from Gloucestershire, what do you think? Two fat ladies, is it offensive? Maybe it's PC gone mad.
I think, to take offence creates offence. I mean, I don't mind being called, fat dad. I haven't got a problem with it. And I used to love evenings. Friends used to go to drag bingo, and there's stuff said there that I don't think I can repeat. There was one about...
Imagine. Don't repeat it, Robin.
Famous person with one artificial leg, and it was always, the name would come up, number one. And we just fell about. It was wonderful.
Robin, I get how you can push the boundaries with comedy, but when you go into a bingo club, you're just looking for a bit of a sort of, I don't know, light-hearted entertainment. You're not looking to be attacked, are you? And although you feel very body confident, which is great, not everybody does, and they might find it a little offensive.
I haven't always been body confident. It took me years to think that I was okay. But, Leslie, I know it's difficult to find topics, but, there are so many more frightening, worrying things. And just let's leave the seaside humour. As a child, I used to rush to the roundabout thing with seaside cards on. Couldn't get enough of it.
Yeah, you can't find them very easily anymore, Robin. I take your point.
That is a really interesting point made, though. Seaside humour is a part of our comic heritage in a way. And fair enough if the main bingo calls, as John's obviously saying, have moved on to something else. But I would hate to think that when I went to my kind of like cheesy holiday camp by the sea, that there wasn't some remnants of that culture. OK, Robin, thank you for your call. Anne from Kent, it looks like people are very supportive of Two Fat Ladies as a call. What's your thoughts?
Are you talking to me? Yes?
I am talking to you, Anne.
Hi, good morning, everybody. My view is it's all a bit ridiculous, being offended by that, even if it's from the point of view of they're fat or they're women. But I do have a suggestion instead of two fat ladies.
Go on.
Could we just have maybe two fat babies? So they're boys or girls, so it doesn't really matter, and babies are cuddly anyway.
And I like that one, yes. I think do you know what? I vote for that. I'm going to put a petition to government. We're going to get it changed. But I suppose, Anne, I think people think that we're being a bit facetious debating this and maybe it isn't worth the time. But actually, when you think about it, it could be entrenched in misogyny when you think that more men are overweight than women. And why is it always women that tend to be criticised heavier than men? Maybe heavier was a bad term to use there.
I don't think it's a criticism when it's been called out a bingo. I'm fat, do I care? I'm responsible for my own shape.
You know, I love lots of body confident viewers today, and thank you very much for your call.
Okay,
and Two Fat Babies,
you.
I absolutely love. John, I know you don't use the calls, but would you consider it? John?
Well, I'm sorry. Yeah, with regards to Two Fat Babies, I think is absolutely beautiful.
Yes.
It's just lovely. It's something that we all love. Everybody loves a cute baby. Just interested what you said with regards to why it's always you feel it's a female term. I think that goes back to the World Wars, where basically the first bingo numbers and the actual nicknames and the slangs were used because they were supporting the soldiers abroad. So Dirty Gertie, number 30 was something they used. And I think they then wanted to involve everyone back home as well. So that's why it seems there may be a few more references to ladies than men. It's all down to the way the game evolved. So I think that's probably...
Absolutely fascinating. Thank you very much for that fact there. That'll stay with me. John Hempstead there. Right, let's find out what else is happening.